Hello and welcome to the Learn and Listen podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. We're here to help you improve your English skills while learning useful everyday topics.
That's right, Jack. Our podcast is designed to help English learners practice their listening skills and learn new vocabulary in a fun and engaging way.
We speak slowly and clearly to make it easier for you to understand. So, let's get started with today's episode.
Today, we're going to talk about a very important skill: how to make appointments and reservations.
This is something you'll need to do often in English-speaking countries, whether it's for a doctor's visit, a haircut, or a table at a restaurant.
Exactly, Jack. Let's begin with making appointments. First, we'll talk about making a doctor's appointment. I'll give an example of how to do this.
That sounds great, Emma. Let's hear it.
Okay. Here's a simple dialogue you might use when calling a doctor's office.
Good morning, Dr. Smith's office. How may I help you?
Good morning. I'd like to make an appointment with Dr. Smith, please.
Certainly. What's the reason for your visit?
I have a bad cough that won't go away.
I see. We have an opening next Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Does that work for you?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Great. Can I have your name and phone number, please?
My name is John Doe, and my phone number is 555-123-4567.
Thank you, Mr. Doe. We'll see you next Tuesday at 2:30 p.m.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That was a great example, Emma. Let's break down some key phrases from this conversation.
Good idea, Jack. First, we have I'd like to make an appointment with. This is a polite way to request an appointment.
Right. And when asked about the reason for the visit, it's important to be clear and concise. In this case, I have a bad cough that won't go away.
Exactly. Now, let's move on to making reservations, like booking a table at a restaurant. Jack, can you give us an example?
Of course, Emma. Here's how a conversation to make a restaurant reservation might go.
Good evening, Bella Italia Restaurant. How can I help you?
Good evening. I'd like to make a reservation for dinner, please.
Certainly. For what date and time?
This Friday at 7:30 p.m., if possible.
Let me check. Yes, we have a table available at 7:30 p.m. on Friday. How many people will be in your party?
It will be for 4 people.
Perfect. May I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Emma Johnson.
Thank you, Miss Johnson. I've reserved a table for 4 at 7:30 p.m. this Friday. Do you have any special requests or dietary requirements?
No, thank you. Everything is fine.
Great. We look forward to seeing you on Friday. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That was an excellent example, Jack. Let's highlight some important phrases from this conversation.
Thank you, Emma. One key phrase is I'd like to make a reservation for. This is a polite way to start your request.
Absolutely. And when asked about the number of people, you can say, it will be for number people.
Good point. It's also important to note that the restaurant host asked about special requests or dietary requirements. This is common, so be prepared to mention any allergies or preferences you might have.
Now, let's recap some general tips for making appointments and reservations.
Great idea. Here are 5 important tips.
1. Always be polite and use phrases like please and thank you.
2. Speak clearly and provide information about date, time, and the number of people if applicable.
3. Be prepared to spell your name if asked, especially if it's uncommon.
4. Have your calendar ready to check your availability.
5. Don't forget to confirm the details before ending the call.
These are excellent tips, Emma. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be afraid to use these phrases in real-life situations.
That's right, Jack. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in making appointments and reservations in English.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you found it helpful and learned some useful phrases for making appointments and reservations.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our podcast with your friends who are also learning English.
Thank you for listening to the Learn and Listen podcast. Until next time, keep practicing and happy learning.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.